My entire book is inside of ChatGPT. So what do I do next? Do I download it into a Word document? What do I do next? Okay. If your entire book is inside of ChatGPT, you did not write the book. You didn't write the book. ChatGPT wrote the book for you. And chances are that it's not very good text and it is going to be so easily spottable by anybody that it was AI generated. So, no, if your entire book is living inside of ChatGPT, you did not write the book. ChatGPT wrote the book, and it is not yours. It is not copyrightable, and it is probably not very good. Hey there, writer, and welcome back to the Novelist Studio. I am your host, Anna Del Valle. I was already using ChatGPT to brainstorm, thinking of it like a writing partner. So I was familiar with AI and more than willing to use it. But I knew that what I really needed was an AI program designed for writers. Now, this is one of my favorite quotes that I have received from a student in the AI Creative Writing Academy. And I want to really focus today's episode on writers that are already experimenting with ChatGPT. And I want to talk about some of the challenges there and some of the limitations that ChatGPT has. Before we get into all of that, if you have been curious about how to use ChatGPT as a creative writer, or if you have been experimenting with ChatGPT, but you know there is a better way and a better system, and you're curious to learn more, then I want to invite you to Story Spark Live Bootcamp that is happening October 14th, 15th, and 16th from 12 to 1 MST. This is a live boot camp that I deliver, no replays. And what we do is we go over everything around creative writing and how it has changed. We look at the copyright law. I actually put an AI tool in your hands so that you can use it inside of ChatGPT and see the difference between using just ChatGPT and using a tool that was built to live inside of ChatGPT so that you're using ChatGPT for creative writing specifically. And it's just a really, really wonderful boot camp. It's only $38. We have breakout sessions, we have Q&As, and you will get me live and you will get to ask any and all of your questions about the use of AI. So I invite you to that. The link is below or attached to the show notes. So that brings me to today's episode. One of the things that I was really impressed with when students started coming into the AI Creative Writing Academy is that there was a span of different skill levels. I had folks that have never written a book join the AI Creative Writing Academy. And of course, they get more done in 8 days than they have in 8 years because of the efficiency of AI and helping them organize all their abstract ideas in a very consumable format. And then I've also have writers, and I was really impressed by this. I would say more than 50% of the writers are already established writers with many books published and an established readership. They've already been using ChatGPT and they just want to learn how to use it better. Where is the system, right? Where is the system for creative writers, which is what I did when I built the AI Creative Writing Academy. It is a creative writing system that lives inside of ChatGPT. I want to talk about a use case specifically so that you guys can really understand what I mean when I say that a lot of these established writers that are using ChatGPT are seeing the challenges. They are seeing the limitations that ChatGPT alone has. So let's take my student Lauren, for example. And Lauren is an established writer. She has many books out that are already, and she has a readership. And when she came to the AI Creative Writing Academy, she was already using ChatGPT like a lot of established writers or a lot of writers that have already been using ChatGPT figure out how to do, which is I'm going to go ahead and set up a project folder, and my project folder is going to be dedicated to my novel. Now, I have a video on setting up project folders. I'm going to link it here so that you guys can watch it. And if you're listening on the podcast, you can just come on YouTube and watch that video here. But if you have ChatGPT Plus, which is $20 a month, you can set up project folders and you can have a project folder for the novel that you're currently working on. And all that does is organize your chats in one place. That is the only thing that it's doing. It's organizing all your chats in one folder so that you don't get lost having to look through multiple chats, etc. ChatGPT has a memory, so it's going to remember what you guys worked on anyway, but it's going to be a lot more organized and a lot more efficient if you put all your chats for your novel you're currently working on inside of a project folder. So this student that had already been, she's an established writer, had already been using ChatGPT in this manner. We had a chat and I immediately, she showed me what her workflow was with ChatGPT and how she had been ideating with ChatGPT inside of this project folder. Now, I have the best metaphor to give you for this because at first glance, it's going to look like, oh my gosh, this project folder is really helping me ideate for my novel. And the answer is yes, it's helping you do that. But then here's what happens. So let's say that Lauren wanted to write a novel about a farm tech that she had a very boring life. She was working 50 hours a week, and then a Friday night rolls in, and this billionaire walks in the door to pick up his prescription, and sparks fly, and this novel is off and running. So what happened here was that Lauren kept asking ChatGPT, like in this project folder, hey, I want to write a novel about this. And then ChatGPT would come back and say, great, that sounds like a great idea. So what do you want to do next? Do you want to build out the characters? And then she would say, yes, let's build out the characters. Well, how many characters are you imagining? Well, I'm imagining like 6 or 7 characters. Okay, well, let's work on that. And then ChatGPT would become a collaborator in helping her put together that blueprint, right? So is that helpful? 100% that's helpful. Now, here are the limitations. Using ChatGPT to ideate your novel and to just kind of flesh out some ideas, it's great, but it's also like this. I like to think of it like this metaphor. It's like saying that you're going to build a house, right? You're going to build a house, and now you know that you need a certain amount of bricks. So you're going to go next door to your neighbor and you're going to go, hey, I need a brick. Do you have any bricks? And the neighbor is going to go, yeah, I have this brick. I have this red brick. Can you use this red brick? Yes, I can use that red brick. You go back, you put it on your foundation. And then you're like, okay, now I need like 2 more bricks. So then you run to your neighbor again and you get 2 more bricks. And now you put those 2 bricks on top of your foundation. Now you have 3 bricks, right? And then you keep asking questions, going back and forth to all your neighbors. Now I need a window. So you go across the street and you ask that neighbor, hey, can you get me a window for this house that I'm building? And then the neighbor gives you that window. You go back and you lay your window down in your project folder. Now you got 3 bricks and a window. Okay. And this is a really great ideation process. But here is where the limitation happens. So ChatGPT is not built to understand craft at a deep level. So it understands craft and it can help you do like a very quick and dirty outline of something, but there is so much meat you are leaving on the table. Because when you're writing a very complex novel, like for example, this particular novel had many different point of views. It had alternating chapters and it had about 5 or 6 subplots. Can you imagine having to go ask neighbors for bricks and laying them down for all of those things and then trying to weave it in to something cohesive? So here's what happens very quickly. You end up with a surface level idea for a really great novel. But if you have written any novels before, or if you're new to writing and you have read a ton of craft books, you know how difficult it is to weave all those things together. And that is what project folders cannot do for you. So what happens, and I've seen this happening more times than I can count, is that that writer using that project folder starts to get tired of having to go ask for bricks to try to lay the foundation of their novel. And then ChatGPT will just come back and say, are you ready to see that one chapter, the first chapter written? And the user is going to say, yes, please, let me see that chapter. And then ChatGPT is going to deliver an entire chapter for you. And at first glance, it might look really might look really good. But now what you're left with is a bunch of scattered bricks and windowsills for a story structure that you haven't even really developed. You haven't even really developed your story Bible. You haven't even really developed your subplots. You haven't even really developed your beat structure. You haven't developed anything that is going to hold to a really great story. And this is what happens. And then what also started happening is that this particular writer started saying yes to ChatGPT. Let me see this chapter. Let me see this chapter. And now she had two problems. She had no scaffolding in place, no real structure for her novel, and now ChatGPT was writing for her. And so it became very apparent very quickly that she was no longer writing the novel. And not only that, the novel wasn't going to be as good as it could be if she had used ChatGPT the right way as a system. And so when we looked at all of these things and we discussed them, she very quickly realized, like, oh my gosh, you're right. You're so right. I have been borrowing all these bricks, but I have no story structure. I don't have all the scenes laid out. I don't have the beginning, middle, and payoff of all the scenes. I don't have the beats. I don't have any of the subplots. I don't have all the reveals where they're supposed to go. I just don't have any of those things. And even worse, now ChatGPT is writing for me. So this is very common, you guys, very common. I see this all the time. I went through this phase, I don't know, almost 3 years ago when I first started using ChatGPT. So I know exactly what that looks like. So I wanted to kind of put that out there because um, what what I really, first of all, I want you to use those project folders. I do. I do. And I want you to ideate and I want you to flesh out some ideas. But when you're ready to build that scaffolding for that beautiful outline with all the right structure, with all the right character details, when you are ready to do that so that you can have that beautiful roadmap so that you can sit down and write the novel, not ChatGPT, then you are ready for the AI Creative Writing Academy. Then you want to use a tool like Olivia AI. Or if you have a second draft already done, right? Then you want to use a tool like Ellis. Ellis, my developmental editor, she is going to just look at your entire manuscript and she is already built and programmed to think just like a developmental editor would, except she's got a million heads instead of one. So that's the difference of using just ChatGPT and then using a system, a creative writing system that was built on top of ChatGPT, So I think that is a game changer for authors everywhere. And I will say another. I'll give you one more story, and um, this is more as a word of caution. I had another writer reach out to me, and she's a first time writer, and she's been using ChatGPT to write her novel, but she thinks she's using ChatGPT as AI assist, which is in alignment with the copyright law and it's in alignment with the Authors Guild guidance. But when I received her inquiry, she said, my entire book is inside of ChatGPT. So what do I do next? Do I download it into a Word document? What do I do next? Okay. If your entire book is inside of ChatGPT, you did not write the book. You didn't write the book. ChatGPT wrote the book for you. And chances are that it's not very good text and it is going to be so easily spottable by anybody that it was AI generated. So, no, if your entire book is living inside of ChatGPT, you did not write the book. ChatGPT wrote the book, and it is not yours. It is not copyrightable, and it is probably not very good. So if you have done this and it's okay, and you want to try a different route, then you want to try the AI assist route. And there's no getting out of it. No getting out of it. If you are a writer, you have to write the book. Full stop. Can you use AI to advance your process in a dynamic way? All your pre-drafting activities, coach you as you go? 100%. But if your book is living inside of ChatGPT, you did not write that book. So with that, writer, until next time, keep on writing.